Hello, Crystal Palace. Hello. Is it hot enough for you out there? This is the Upper Norwood Library Hub's library lunch. Hooray! I am roasting. I have got all my stage lights on because I am a sucker for it. That's it. That's it. The library is currently closed. I am at home. I have made a little studio in my house, and that's where we're going from today. We are welcoming on Noreen from the Crystal Palace Festival. Hello, Noreen. How are
Hi,
you doing?
everybody. Hello, hello. Hi, Rin. How are you? Hot. I'm taking.
It's
I'm melting.
yeah. I don't want to be proper British about it by going, it's hot, 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 it's hot. But I will be living in the bath for the rest of the day. I can almost guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Being Irish, I think, I've never really experienced these temperatures before.
No, so that's right. I was telling folks the other day that the first time I saw the sun was 1994. I was 13 years old. The tall ships came to Belfast, and I know it was that year because we got those mugs, those tumblers that you get on such occasions. And I remember thinking it was really hot, and it was about 26 degrees.
Yeah,
And that was north.
absolutely. Yeah,
That
the
was
weather in Ireland is so much worse than over here. But yes, I think this is a bit of a record, this one anyway. But yes, we're getting through it. We're getting through it. So thanks for inviting me on again.
Yay! So we're here to talk about Crystal Palace Festival. It's on this weekend.
Yay!
Yay! So how did you get to the point where you're delivering a live streamed show this year?
Yeah, so it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride this year, obviously, for everybody, I think generally, but just, from the point of view of the festival, we were all set to press the button on programming and marketing for our live park event, which was going to happen in the mid-June. And that was back just as, as COVID broke, we were literally about to do that. And then we were like, well, what are we going to do now? This is going to obviously not going to happen. It didn't take us very long to realize that a live park event and one in the high street, which we actually had quite a lot planned for our high street as well this year, just wasn't going to happen. So we had to think very quickly about where to go with this. And we were actually quite lucky in that we'd already got some funding from the Arts Council and Croydon and Bromley Council and Crystal Palace Community Trust. This funding was mainly for projects for like outreach stuff that we do every year. So we kind of talked about this before on the library lunch, but we do actually do quite a lot of creative projects that we reach out to people in the community, like groups of young people, older people, those who are socially isolated. And we work with our partners, our other kind of charity partners, to deliver these types of projects. So we had some funding for those. And the Arts Council funding had also included some funding for deaf and disabled artists, because we were really keen to, make our program even more diverse than it normally is. And within those grants, we also had a little bit of money to pay for some, marketing, for some freelance salary. I'm a freelancer. So we were able to keep going, and I was able to kind of stay on part-time with the festival and start making grant applications. So we applied to the Arts Council again for the emergency response fund, and we were really surprised and really happy to receive that money. And that's what's paying for this online live streamed show, basically. And we also have some fantastic sponsors and advertisers and charity partners that have stayed with us as well. And obviously, a lot of people are really suffering from, income down. Our local traders, often they would sponsor, and a lot of them haven't been able to. But some have actually stayed with us. So Martin and Co, Amplet Lissimore, Bambino, Palace app, and the London Hotel Group, who are owners of the Queen's Hotel, are still sponsoring us and still our charity partners in the case of the Queen's Hotel. And then also GLL, who owns National Sports Centre, had also given us some sponsorship money. So, we've also got some advertisers. They're on our online program, so do check them out. And it's just by, kind of pulling as much as we can together, we've managed to fund where we are now. Going forward is another matter, but we'll come to that in a minute, basically. So that's the story of where we got to where we are now.
Yes, so you got funding from the Arts Council as well as local funding pots.
That's right, yeah. So Crystal Palace Community Trust is a partner of ours. They applied for funding, and we are part of their project for young people. So we're still working with young people across the area. The Arts Council, as I said, have given us additional funding for the online festival, and then all of those local businesses have supported as well. And then we set about kind of turning the program into an online event. So the festival is going to be live and it's going to be streamed. So in essence, what we're trying to do is recreate the festival in some way, in terms of we've got dance, we've got comedy, we've got spoken word, we've got live music from bands, from solo singer songwriters and duos, and we've also got what else have we got? I mentioned comedy, you mentioned spoken word, theatre as well. So all of the program's going to cover all of those wonderful art forms, and which the program would normally do if we were in the high street or if we were in our park. And we've got a fantastic lineup for you, so we'll talk about that in a minute as well. Sorry, I'm just going to fan myself a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm just like hiding myself behind all
Melt,
the
melt. It's like,
so in that program, what are the highlights that you've got going on over there?
Oh, so many to mention. Let me just have a quick look. So we're kicking off with Panache Steel Orchestra, who are just the most amazing steel orchestra. Lots of local young people involved in that. And that's going to be kicking off just after 2 o'clock on Saturday. We've got quite a few deaf and disabled artists on board, as we talked about a minute ago. So we've got Rinku Barpaga, we've got Moxie Brawl, we've got Zoe McWhinney, and we've also got Ebony Rose Dark, and they're all deaf or blind or disabled artists that are going to be on our program. And I think what's great about that is we've worked with artists from this community before, and it's about being part of mainstream arts, and being part of a bigger festival is really important to try and increase the diversity of our program and showcase those artists as well. Then we've got lots of local Crystal Palace bands as well. We've got the Tin Men, we've got Azad, who are from West Norwood down the road. That's fine as well. And then we've got Amarel, who's a really wonderful local blues folk singer. We've also got Barbara Brownskirt, who is a lesbian poet, and it just can be a little bit miserable, but we've managed to get her out of her house for this particular event, and she's local as well. We've got the wonderful Jenny Hanovers, and we've got Ruby Pharaoh. God, there's too many to mention really. 2-5, DJ Mama Sutra, King Michael and Kumo are our late night DJs, and they're all Crystal Palace artists as well. We've also got Rocky Oki meets Crystal Palace Lockdown Live, who basically are, Rocky Oki, I don't know if you know them, but they're amazing. It's like karaoke, but with a rock band. So we've done a fundraiser with them before, and they're all about giving people their dream, which is, you wanted to be a pop star. Now's your chance. You can get up on stage and sing with Rocky Oki. And we've got some of the amazing singers who were featured in Crystal Palace Lockdown Live, the brilliant Saturday happening that's been going on. Shane and Corrie Thom have been running that, which has been amazing throughout lockdown as well. So then we've also got Essay and the Voodoo People, and Mr. Sens, the street artist, who's Crystal Palace based, Fireflies and Frank Olber, and Jim Bob from Carter USM, who's also Crystal Palace. So there's all the people who are just from Crystal Palace alone. I think some of the other highlights to mention is one things that I'm particularly proud of is that we've got this wonderful thing called Ragtime to Grime Jam, and the theme is Their Lives Matter, which is obviously about the contribution of Black artists to our popular culture. So Grounded Movement have been putting together a jam. They've got loads of amazing dancers, hip hop artists. We've got some young artists from Croydon. And then we've also got Rodney P and Black Twang. And Rodney and Black Twang had put together a supergroup of kind of British hip hop supergroup last year with Ty, who is a rapper from Brixton. And sadly, Ty passed away in May from coronavirus. So really, really sad occasion. And this is all a tribute to Ty as well, and his impact on British culture and British Black music. So that's going to be on Saturday night from 8 o'clock or so. And that's really, really exciting. And then we've got our wonderful headliners who are John, who are a Crystal Palace based band, and they are rather large in the world of indie rock and pop and punk, and they're really amazing. And they're headlining Sunday. And then we've got Andrew Ashong headlining on Saturday, and he's Forest Hill based, and he's got beautiful acid jazz grooves. Big favourite of Giles Peterson. So that's just a bit of a flavour there, and there's just so much more as well. So I do urge people to go onto the website at crystalpalace.org and have a look at the full programme and check it all out.
So just remind everyone, when does it start?
It starts at 2 p.m. on Saturday, this Saturday, the 15th of August. The live show runs all the way through till 11 o'clock. So as I said, it's just a range of music, theatre, comedy, spoken word and dance. Then we've got our house DJs taking over after that, and they're going on till 2 a.m. So if you want to keep on dancing, we've got some fantastic DJs. And then on Sunday, we start again at 2 o'clock. And the live show finishes at 11:15. And we just have some films at the very end, some kind of meditative films. We've got Rookery Ensemble, another Crystal Palace based outfit, who have been making a film about the kind of meditation on the nature of time and space. And also we've got the Zoo Humans, which is our dance piece, which is we're going to be playing at the festival with. So it officially ends at about 11:30 on Sunday. So tons going on.
There is a lot. I'll just take a little break there just to welcome the folks that I can see online. There's not that many of you. I think Facebook, I can't even watch my own video on Facebook. I don't know what's going on. I can see that Dan and Daphne has joined us. I probably pronounced that wrong. I'm so sorry if I have.
Oh no, that's correct. Correct name. I know Daphne.
Okay,
that's DJ
cool.
Mama Sutra.
Hey,
hi, DJ Mama Sutra.
Yeah, so if you're out there and you have a question for Noreen, just whack it into the chat. You'll need to be on the Upper Norwood Library Hub's main page. If I have shared this to the groups, you'll need to come over to the main page of the Upper Norwood Library Hub to ask a chat question, because that's the only chat I can watch today. Okay, so our next question for you is that, so you've been doing an awful lot of outreach over this entire period. What kind of projects have you been doing over this period of reasons?
So obviously, we'd received funding from the Arts Council in Croydon and Bromley for these outreach projects, and also Crystal Palace Community Trust. And we thought, well, what are we going to do? We're going to have to look at all of these projects and see how we can deliver them. So one of the projects was the Big Ball, which was going to be a dance project for community members to join in. So we were going to work with local groups, and our choreographer Temujin from Grounded Movement, and kind of the artistic director of this piece, would have been working with them in real time, getting them to create their own work. And then that was going to be a flash mob in the high street, followed by a big coming together of all of those groups. And basically, we've kind of thought, well, what are we going to do? We're going to have to go online. So what we've done is we've, again, got this community cast together. They've been working with Temujin. So there's about 15 people from our community of all ages, of all backgrounds, from the local area. And they've been working with Temujin through Zoom calls and WhatsApp calls, and he's been setting them tasks, giving them motifs, like dance motifs to work with, but they've been creating their own material, their own dance pieces, their own movement pieces, expressing themselves. And it's around the theme of hope, celebration and challenge, which I think are all very much in our minds at the moment. And what they've been doing is learning how to film themselves. So Roz, who is our filmmaker, who's been working with Temujin on similar projects for other dance companies, has been coaching them in how to film. So then Roz, at the moment, is now beavering away on putting together the film, The Big Ball. And The Big Ball will be shown as part of our program. And that is happening on Sunday evening at, let me see, 6:35. That's going to be shown. So that's just a flavour of one of the outreach projects that we've been doing. We're also working with a local school, which is going to be happening a bit later in the year when people come back from holiday, on a project called Afrobeat meets classical, and that's with Silverstone and the London Mozart Players. And then we've also been trying to ensure that we keep going with our engagement with young people. So we've got quite a lot of young artists on this program as well. We've got young people from Croydon, the C3 Croydon Collective. There'll be some spoken word and music performances from the collective. They've also been working with Silverstone. We've also got a band called Azad. And we're going to be showing some amazing films by Youth Sayers, which are a reggae collective from Brixton. And they've been busy in lockdown making some films. So that's just going to, again, giving you a flavour of the outreach work.
Amazing, amazing. You've got this huge fundraising campaign going on, and that has a lot of charity partners involved with it. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your partners and how you are working with them?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I mentioned earlier that we work with partners from across the community to kind of reach out to people that might not get involved in the arts or might not come to a park event, or to give people kind of creative opportunities, because we firmly believe that creativity is good for you. It gives people confidence, it supports their well-being, it connects them together. And some of the people who've been involved in our Big Ball film, for instance, been talking about how connected they felt to people, which is fantastic. So these charity partners are also people that we've worked with in the past. So we've got Paxton Green Time Bank, who are based down at Kingswood House, and they've been running a food hub and delivering lots of parcels as well. So they've been keeping people going who really need support, who've been in dire need, and they've been isolating, and they've been working with Eastern Cuisine and Invisible Palace on delivering food that's been created by the amazing Eastern Cuisine down at Gypsy Hill. So they're one of our charity partners, and they need more funds to keep going. People will still need food. The pandemic is still going ahead. It's not going anywhere, and it's still going to. People are still going to struggle. And I think this is a reality that we all have to look forward into the future and support charities like Paxton Green Time Bank to do this work. And then also we've got the Hive, which is a wonderful a weekly drop-in for people who often are quite isolated in our community. So they sometimes have learning difficulties, disabilities. They're often just, people who are very isolated in themselves, and they have mental health issues. We have worked with them before, and we've managed to raise funds for a choir project there. And we're hopefully going to resurrect the choir at some point. But they also need money to continue their activities. So they're one of the charity partners as well. And then the third one is called Clear Community Web, which you guys at the library know very well because you're also
Yes.
partners with them. And Clear Community Web is a fantastic charity that works with older people and also people with autistic, who are autistic or with learning difficulties, to help them get online safely, which can be very intimidating for people. It's when you're kind of good at digital stuff, it's hard to realize how hard it is for people to get online and the fears that they have around this. And our world is going more online. So it's really important that they keep working with people who, need their help, because everything is going online. So we're raising funds for them as well. And then ourselves as a charity, we are a registered charity now. We've got this far. We've managed to fund ourselves this far with help from our partners, from our supporters. But to keep going and to be able to continue working with these types of partners, to continue to, bring a festival to Crystal Palace, we do need funding as well. And, this is something that is just an ongoing fundraising mountain that we have to climb. So if you can make a donation, if you can possibly afford it, any amount, it doesn't really matter how small or large it is, all of it helps. And if you do donate, please do share as well, or if you can't donate, just share, just ask people to support a charity that's really close to your heart. So 50% of the funding that we raise over the whole month of August, during the festival and beyond, will be going to our 3 charity partners, and 50% will go to our own charity.
Amazing. Amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, we
melts.
were pimping out on Community Web every day. They are amazing, and Casper is such a legend. Such a
Yes,
legend. So
he's
plans.
incredible.
Yeah, it's cool. So plans for the future, and what's going to happen next year then? What's the
Well,
plan?
yes, that is a big question, isn't it? Who knows what's going to happen next year in terms of, where we are all going to be. But I mean, we've managed to pivot to online this year. Ideally, we would love to be out in our community. We miss you all. And we've missed having this festival. And, the beauty of the festival is it is about connecting people. It is about bringing people together and giving them opportunities to volunteer, to do projects, to participate in some way. So we want to continue doing that type of work, and we want to get out into our community to do that. So we'll be looking for more opportunities to do creative projects, maybe do some of them in real time, working with our partners. So, for instance, some of the work that we do with young people, we want to do in real time. But obviously, we need to do this safely in a socially distant way. But as regards kind of the festival as an event, I think we were really looking very closely at what happens next in terms of the pandemic and what happens next in terms of large events. And we'll need to plan according to what the safety guidelines are. So we don't know the answer to that question yet. But what I can tell you is if we manage to raise enough money to stay afloat, to stay here, to carry on working, we will be bringing a festival to Crystal Palace next year. What it will look like, it will be quite hard to say at this point in time. But we will definitely be fundraising to continue to do this outreach work. There's lots of groups of people who are isolated even more so by the pandemic. And I think it's really important that we try and create projects that work with them both online and offline. So, we are looking at ways of doing that. We're talking to lots of different charities across Crystal Palace, the ones that we work with now and other new ones, to think about how we could do more work in our community and how we could connect people. But we do need help financially to do that. So we'll be looking at grants, but if people can donate and people can support, then that will help us do more of that work in the meantime as well.
Okay, amazing. And then the last question that we've had a couple of people ask offline is, how is the best way to view the online stream over the weekend? How do you suggest people do that?
So we've set it up on various channels because, I think what we're recommending is people view from home, because that's probably the safest place to be. And you can view it on your laptop or your PC, your mobile devices, and on your TV. So it will be live on our website, crystalpalacefestival.org, and there'll be a button there. You can just press the button and go straight into a page where the live stream is hosted. It's also hosted on YouTube, so you can actually, if you've got YouTube on if you're lucky enough to have a smart TV, you can look at YouTube and go into the app there and search for Crystal Palace Festival, and you can find us on there. And this is going to be a very high definition stream, so it will be a really good quality picture as well. So you'll be able to put it on a TV, which is great. I think you can also use Chromecast as well if you know these types of things. I don't know much about Chromecast, but for those of you who know how to Chromecast, you can also do that as well. And then it will also be on Facebook Live. So you can go to our Facebook page, which is search for Crystal Palace Festival, and you can look at it live on Facebook. You can set up a watch party with all of your friends on Facebook as well. So that'll be a nice way to share it. You can invite people around to your bubble who are in your bubble, and then or you could perhaps put it in the garden, and you could invite 6 friends round, again, to be safe and socially distanced. You could do that as well. So we're asking kind of everyone to stay safe, obviously, but obviously have a good time as well. So it's an opportunity to maybe have some fun with your friends and family and watch it all together. There's a whole thing on our website about how to watch as well. So if you go to crystalpalacefestival.org, up in the upper right hand corner, there's a how to watch button. So if you click on that, you can find out all about all the different channels and how to Chromecast and all of those things.
So amazing. Well, thank you very much, Noreen, for joining us and telling us all about the festival. That's about all the time we have today. I'd just like to run through our normal endings, so to speak. So just to remind everyone, if you have a person who needs some help getting onto Zoom or using the internet or doing shopping or using banks, all that kind of digital nonsense, then we have Clear Community Web, who's a partner of the library, His Casper's information is in the description of this video on whichever channel you are watching. I also would go amiss, didn't do this yesterday, that if you're enjoying this show, please consider donating to the library. As you can see there on the corner, we've already raised £932, and actually with Gift Aid, that's over £1,000 the live stream channel has raised for the library. And all that money just goes in to make sure that the venue's still there and present when we're all ready to start using it again. I'll just share the links for the donation buttons in the chat. So thank you very much, Noreen, for joining us. It's been lovely having you over.
Thank you so much, Rin, and I hope you enjoy the festival as well. And we're looking forward to connecting with everyone. Just one thing to quickly add, please do tag us in your posts and we can do shout outs to our audience. Send us photographs. So tag us at my CP Festival and Crystal Palace Festival, and we will share your shout outs and your photos on the live stream. So you could be on telly as well.
Oh, so it's, what is it? My CP?
Festival and Crystal Palace Festival. So if you use those tags on your Twitter or your Instagram or Facebook post, we can pick those up. And actually, I think on Facebook, you'll probably just need to tag our page. But we will be sharing. We have our social media team, our volunteers on site, picking up all of that. And we'd love to share shout outs. So if you kind of would like a shout out for your friends, your family, or if you've got a picture of your festival party at home, do send it to us on Facebook or any Instagram or Twitter, and we will be putting it up on the screen and doing those shout outs. We've got two wonderful presenters as well, just to mention, sorry, I forgot to say earlier, we've got the wonderful Lady Crimpline, aka Helen Desai.
Oh, wow,
and
Helen!
and also Callum, the wonderful Callum Hughes, who are both local performers, actors, podcast hosts, radio presenters, beautiful people generally. So they're going to be hosting and tying it all together and doing all those wonderful shout outs.
It'll be just like Red Nose Day all over again.
And Glastonbury, basically.
Yeah, amazing. All right, we're going to sign off now. Thank you very much, everyone who has joined us. It has been super nice to have you all over. And we'll be back tomorrow with who have we got? Father John from one of your charity partners, I understand.
Yeah, from St. John the Evangelist, the Hive.
Yeah, that's right. We've got them tomorrow. So come back at 12 o'clock and we'll have a little hot party together. Amazing. All right, see you all.